Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So there's been a lot of crazy weather happening around the Midwest. Lots of storms. Thankfully, all we've had here, well, the worst we've had is some wind and some hail that jolted us during the night. And as you can see, we've gotten a lot of rain. It never ceases to amaze me how our peaceful, rambling little creek can turn into this raging river in such a short period of time. Although, to be honest, I kind of wish it was a little more like this on a regular basis. So today I'm bringing you into the kitchen to share a new recipe with y'all. This is for Cabbage Roll Casserole. Now I know a lot of people would like to make cabbage rolls, but they can be a little challenging working with the cabbage leaves. But this takes that step completely out of it. I'm going to start off with a large onion that I'm dicing up. And I'm going to begin sauteing the onions here in my pan with a little bit of olive oil. I'll let those cook for just a couple of minutes so that they begin to soften. Now this recipe is going to need some cooked rice, and I've always heard that you can cook rice like pasta, but I've never tried it, so I thought today I would give it a try. Now that my onions are softening up, I'm adding in about 4 cloves of minced garlic. And we like our casseroles to be a little bit hearty, so I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef, but you can use 1 if you prefer. I'm just going to brown the ground beef with the onions and garlic. While those are cooking, I'm going to chop up a head of cabbage. This head of cabbage is about 2.5 pounds, and I'm going to use the whole thing, minus the stem, of course. Now in a separate pan, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, or you could use butter, and I'm going to add in my chopped cabbage as I get it cut up. It'll only take me a minute to chop up the rest of it. And we're just going to cook that cabbage long enough so that it wilts down and reduces in size. It doesn't have to be fully cooked. Seems like the rice turned out pretty good. Now this old door here in the kitchen, we plan on replacing at some point, but I'll probably replace it with one very similar to it because I kind of like having the company while I'm cooking. I'm adding in about a half a teaspoon or so of salt to the cabbage, giving that a stir, and this is just about ready. You don't have to cook the cabbage all the way through. You're just wilting it down. Now my ground beef is brown, so I'm adding a teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of paprika, and a half a teaspoon of dill. A half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and then we're going to add in 28 ounces of tomato sauce. Stir it all together. I'm going to add in my cooked rice. It's about 2 cups or so. Stir that in. I'm going to oil my pan so nothing sticks. And then I'm going to layer in half of my cabbage. Half of the meat mixture. Pause to take some photos for the website. And then I'll just repeat the layers with the rest of the cabbage and the rest of the meat sauce. Now I'm going to cover this with some aluminum foil, and of course I don't like aluminum to touch my food, so I lay down some parchment paper first. Cover it nice and tight. And this is going to go into the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. Now while that's baking, I'm going to go ahead and mix up the topping. This is 1 egg and 1/4 cup of milk. And then I'm adding in some shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Now you could use Gruyere, Monterey Jack, whatever you prefer. And I'm just going to set that aside for now. Meanwhile, I'm cleaning up my kitchen, washing the dishes, and a kitchen is never clean until you've finished with the stove. The casserole's baked for 45 minutes. I took off the foil and now I'm adding the cheese mixture, but I decided that wasn't enough cheese. So I pulled out my shredded frozen cheese and I'm adding about 1 cup more. That looks better. Back into the oven for 20 more minutes uncovered. And there you go. Cabbage roll casserole. Easy, hearty, and delicious. along with some cheddar biscuits from Mr. Smith. If you would like to make this recipe, you can get a printable version of it with all of the measurements and all of the details on my website, cosmopolitancornbread.com. And don't forget, if you like this recipe, to leave me a 5-star rating on my website. Thanks for joining me here again at the homestead. My name is Constance from Cosmopolitan Cornbread. God bless, and I'll talk to y'all next time.